So, update on the animals that have infested my house.
Am I the only one hearing that music?
What music?
Happy 420!
Are you serious? The Rubber Boots Podcast, Season 8 of the podcast, brought to you by BetSafe.net.
BetSafe.net.
Thank you for joining us, we're sure you have no regret. Even we can't believe we're not canceled yet. We're gonna tell some stories, we're gonna have a good time, you know for sure, we're gonna have a laugh. This is the podcast. This is the podcast. 100% free.
100%. That's it.
This is the podcast. This is the podcast.
BetSafe.net.
This is the pod.
That's it.
This is the podcast. This is the pod. This is the podcast. This is the pod.
BetSafe.net.
So when I last checked in on the animals that had invaded the loft of my house, remember it was a squirrel, and then the guy came and he got the squirrel out, and then there was still the little pitter patter of little mice.
Yes,
apparently, right? And Jared's been home. He's moved back in basically now. So he said, "Oh no, I hadn't heard anything." So I get up on Sunday morning and come down to the kitchen. And the pantry is locked shut. Like there's a spoon in the pantry, like locking the pantry shut. Much like a scene from M. Night Shyamalan's
Signs?
What was the Mel Gibson
Signs.
movie? Signs, where they locked the alien in the pantry.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, that's odd.
Don't open the pantry, Jimmy. Don't open the pantry.
And so I just kind of forgot about it, didn't open the pantry, and then Brooksie came down and she's like, why is the pantry locked? And then Jared came down and he said, I locked a mouse in there.
Oh, God.
And I said, what? So he comes down for a snack at like midnight, whatever, 1 a.m., whatever kid's snack time is, and opens the thing, and he sees something scurrying, and then he thought he was just drunk or something. He probably was drunk.
Yeah.
And then so he kept reaching in for the crackers or whatever he was looking for, and then all of a sudden it darted out, and he said it just stopped right at the front of the pantry and just stared at him. And so my question to you was, is the right move to lock the mouse in the pantry with all your food?
No.
Or to try and scurry the mouse out of the pantry?
Yeah, or because he's just going to he might eat himself to death. That's your only hope.
Well, I wouldn't say he's going to start in there, and then all that food's going to be useless.
Oh.
Well, which he did. So obviously that day, my entire whatever I was going to do that day golfing was lost, and it was a full pantry clean between Brooksie and I, where we had to empty everything out, and there was some mouse residue around an open box of crackers.
Yeah.
That I don't know had been there, but we can't figure out. You know, mice are unbelievable, right? They can get through little nooks and cracks.
Yeah.
So, first of all, the mouse escaped the pantry.
Oh, God, so it didn't even work.
Of course it did. There's no
It didn't
point
work.
locking it in.
Do you think he had like a little magnet in there where he was able to move the spoon out from the inside?
Maybe.
and then put it back in so we
Put it
didn't
back.
know.
Yeah, exactly. A little MacGyver move.
These dummies.
No, but there's there's the little tiny holes, as you know, between cupboards, as any pantry or thing would.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how. And also, Jared said that the mouse was. This pantry has. Let's say it's 3 feet wide by 6 feet tall.
Nice.
And
someone's living large.
Humble brag.
and no, that's not a big. It's not a big. I don't know. It's just like a cupboard,
Okay.
and it's probably four.
Nice.
Four shelves. But mice can't climb walls, can they? Like
Yes.
scurry up walls?
Of course
I didn't
they
think they
can.
could do. No, but
They
don't
can. Yeah,
they
they
need
can.
some sort of? No, don't they need some sort of?
No.
Like they can't climb up straight walls, can they? Don't
I
they
think
need like?
could.
They can do anything. They're
I think so.
it's like a
basically
squirrel.
magnificent little beasts.
I didn't know that they could climb like a spider, like vertically up a wall.
Are you sure it was a mouse or could have been a rat? Was it big?
It was a mouse. There's
No,
not
it was a
rats
mouse.
in my house.
Doesn't a mouse become a rat when it moves into someone's house?
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's how you tell them apart.
Anyway, I guess was I was shy. I didn't know the mice because usually whenever I have found, look, I live basically in the middle of the woods, so
Yes.
I don't have a problem with squirrels and mice getting to my house. I don't freak out like my daughters and my wife. They freak out. They don't like spiders. They don't like anything in the house. But we live in part of nature, so but with the times that I have found mouse remnants in our house, it's usually on the bottom. I never find them on the top shelf. Mice don't party upstairs.
I think they party everywhere. I think they party
You got an
everywhere.
infestation. Seriously.
Yeah, you better, like, you did call someone, right?
No, I take care of it myself.
Oh, God.
Just the old spoon.
Seriously, get them keys. They're going to be living there now. They're going to kick you out.
From personal experience, when you have mice that are not even trying to hide anymore, you got a problem.
Yeah, like a
he's
major
they're
problem.
cocky.
Yeah, they're literally going to be kicking you out
It's
of
like,
the
yeah,
house.
what are you gonna do?
You have to get this professionally taken care of.
Well, I don't like to. What do? You kill the mice, put the mice poison down? Unlike the little mouse traps don't work, right? All
Well,
mice traps.
I mean, we did have a mouse once in our house a little bit ago, and I set up some traps. And when the thing snapped, Tanya and I both screamed. We were like, "Oh God, this is happening!"
And did you fight it?
I was in there, and I had to
dispose of it.
Yeah, she got the heck out of Dodge. I got rid of it.
Public service announcement. That mouse was not in Prince Edward County.
No, it was not. That's in Toronto. Dirty Toronto.
Dirty Toronto.
They don't have them up in the county.
Not in the peck.
Not in the
So
county.
Lester, you say I have an infestation, but what if it was one little mouse,
No
one little
chance.
cute little mouse, like in the
I don't think
cartoons
so,
back
man.
in Bugs Bunny? It was always
Unless you saw Tom, then there's no chance it's just one.
Did he have little gloves on?
It's true.
That's usually a good tell.
I haven't seen him, but my pantry is now very clean, and all the food is very well closed and protected. So these mice
That's good.
they're not getting anything anymore. What else? Another problem with my house, and I'm actually using this podcast to hopefully get help from somebody. I have a stone deck off to the side of my house, and the guy came and did it. I don't know, a few years ago. He poured concrete, like a big foundation, and put, I don't know if it's flagstone or some kind of stone around the deck, okay? And so I go out to do a little cleanup. I was doing like Jimmy cleanup, spring cleanup day. I do it once a year. And the deck, like multiple large pieces of the stone have fallen off the deck.
Oh.
Like they're on the ground. Like the deck is crumbling. How does that, like stone, I thought stone is permanent. You put a stone in, it's a stone deck.
When did you get it done?
I don't know, like 5 years ago.
Yeah, it shouldn't be done by now. You got jobbed.
Yeah.
So if anybody out there knows a mason,
Ooh, look at that.
I'll hook you up with a free plug. Maybe you could spot free segment on the podcast. So these guys don't get anything, but I get a little masonry done.
Nice. I like
Puffy's
that.
Hypotheticals brought to you by Louis Masonry. There
I like
you
it.
go. All right. Yeah, so that's my selfish use of the podcast. I have some things I want to get into. Let's do an early version of A-Hole or A-OK about our friend the O-Dog.
Nice.
Ooh, I love it.
Is it A-hole or is it A-okay?
So we get back from Augusta National. Did we talk about this on the pod last week?
I don't
The
think we talked
O-Dog.
about the hat. I don't think we did.
No.
Lester and Stoff, by the way, please, I'm very forgetful. People are always ask me to bring them stuff from Augusta. You guys have never asked. And then I end up forgetting my friends. So, because I get a list of like 6-7 things from people that they want brought home. And then I just forget bringing gifts from my friends like you guys. So I apologize for that.
Green jacket.
O-Dog, as I've probably told...
Emancipation from racism. Bring that back for me. Just kidding.
Hey, they've changed their ways.
Just kidding.
That was the 80s.
Couldn't help
It's a
it.
different time in golf.
So every time, I've talked about this in the pod before, every time I go away, O-Dog sends me a request for something. And to the point where I don't really know whether he's joking or not.
I think
right?
it's a running joke. Apparently it's not.
I always thought it was a running joke because like Tom Brady would be doing a news conference and he'd say, "Get me that hoodie that Brady's wearing." And then he'd come back with, "I'm not paying."
Yeah.
That's what he does every time I'm away. So on this particular trip to the Masters, on like Tuesday or Wednesday, I believe, I think I probably have lost the text by now, but he sends me, he goes, "I want 2 white Masters bucket hats." That's all he says, one line text.
Yeah.
So I make my way to first of all, there's not like, I don't know how people imagine Augusta National. There's not like 50 stores all over the place. There's one main souvenir center. It takes us a bit of a haul to get there, and it's incredibly crowded. The lines are like obscene, right, Puffy?
Yes, they're crazy. Like it was really crazy this year, especially. It's
like waiting for, Space Mountain at Disney World or whatever. It goes back and forth, back and forth. So we make one trip a year to this place. So as a matter of fact, one day we got up early because we had a tip that if we got there at 7 a.m., we could get in before the patrons. That tip was wrong.
That was bad info.
So anyway, we find our way there Wednesday or Thursday finally. The bucket hats are sold out. I look all over the place. I'm in this massive COVID disaster of all these thousands of people jammed into this place. There's no bucket hats. So I'm like, all right, what am I going to do? So I try to get a bunch of hats that a selection of hats that maybe he would like. And I buy the hats for the other people. By the way, here's a contrast. Lindsay Hamilton, who hosts the Masters from studio.
Yeah.
I said, she was doing such a good job. I said, "Lindsay, would you like anything while I'm at the Masters?" She says, "Oh, I'll take anything. Can I transfer you the money right away?" And I'm like, "First of all, Lindsay, it's on me. You do a great job at the Masters. Second of all, she'll say, I'll accept anything that you get, that you give, and I'll transfer you the money in advance."
Classy.
So O-Dog, I pick out a hat. I'm like, what would O-Dog like? He probably doesn't want the green hat. I'll get him a nice straight black hat with a Masters logo on it. He should like that. So we come back, and first night, we have a Tuesday night game. I forgot to bring the stuff. He comes by my bag like a little kid, and he's looking in my bag, looking for his goodies. And so I said, "O-Dog, I didn't get it. Your hat was sold out." He's like, "Get the F out of here."
Yeah. It was sour.
So what are you talking about? I gave you one thing to do and you couldn't get it done. I'm like, hold on. I have a lot of things to do. They were sold out. That's bullshit. You've never brought me anything from anywhere before. So I said, I got you a hat. I'll bring it in Thursday. So I bring him the hat Thursday. Also, I brought him like a little, as a bonus because I couldn't get his hats, a little ball markers, Augusta ball markers and green repair. So I throw them on the desk. I have them there. He comes in, sits down. He goes, "Buddy, I can't take this. My request was not met, so I can't accept this."
So he turns it down.
And he sends it back to me. So my a-hole or a-okay. The Overdrive guys talked about this yesterday. He apparently told another completely warped version of this story that I just completely ignored the request. And put out a poll, which I think 70, should he have accepted the hat? I think there was like maybe 70% said yes or something like that.
Only 70?
I gotta know. I need to speak to the 30% of people that said that O-Dog was right in refusing a gift in hats that I got him. Sorry, I've been yelling. My levels are probably too high, Stoff. I apologize. I'm a little
your
fired
levels
up
are
about this.
right on for the story, for sure. I'm going to go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, Lester, please do.
I thought you were ready for us
do.
to finally answer the question. I unfortunately think that is a hole. Come on, you went, you did what you could, and you brought him back something. He's not entitled to this gift. He asked, you tried, you didn't get it. That's it. Lindsay Hamilton, lovely lady, respectful, offers to pay. You bring her back something.
The best.
That's great. Stoff and I never asked. Never considered. All good.
Never assumed.
Yeah. I can confirm neither of your names came up at all for talking about
When
gifts.
O-Dog rejected the hat, it just went right in the dumpster, right?
I
didn't even think of giving it to me or Lester.
I just need to read you some of these serious responses because Overdrive put out a poll yesterday. And so this is almost like reading, what do they call them? Mean tweets. But I don't get how O-Dog is at fault here. He asked for an item and was presented with something else. Why should he take something he doesn't want?
I mean, if you were an Augusta employee, I'd agree with that statement.
I mean, he could have easily said like, "Listen, James, that I wouldn't. I'm not going to wear that hat. Just how about you give it to Lester or Stoff? They'll love it." Like then you'd say like, "Okay," but he's like, "I'm not taking that."
Also, hell no, he should not accept that hat. It looks like it was bought at a Love's truck stop along I-95. Duffy definitely got this hat in the bargain bin. There's no way he paid more for $9.99 for this hat. Brutal hat.
Oh, the hat's taking a beating.
Brutal hat.
This hat reminds me of the 1800s. This hat is a joke. It should never be accepted. What is happening here?
They're actually starting to sway me. Maybe it was a pretty crappy hat.
This hat is screaming free gift with purchase.
I'm sorry, can we see a picture of the hat?
Yes,
I can do that for you because I did take a photo of the hat because Brian Hayes wanted a photo to begin his discussion yesterday. So it's like I said, black, a nice black baseball cap. The price was $28. All the caps there are $28. I shouldn't put up all the other photos that are at the bottom. Okay, so
a lot of skin there, Jimmy.
Let's just say that there will never be any more O-Dog requests met at any events I go to. The Masters, Super Bowl.
Wow.
I do not feel any need to redeem myself. There's no redemption needed here. Any further requests will go unanswered from here forward.
Line drawn in the sand.
You got to put your foot down. I agree.
Now, I do believe I know why the bucket hats were sold out. Because they had the women's amateur event there the week before, and the girl who won had an obsession with bucket hats, and she bought that one and wore it after winning, and it became a hot ticket item, I believe.
Well, they were, for sure.
Yeah.
Like the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like there was a ton of them. People were like, they're buying 8 to 10 of them.
See, O-Dog should have befriended those people.
Just for more context, when Nashville was in the Cup final with Pittsburgh a few years ago, remember the Smashville hats that were so hot? I believe Puffy and I both bought one. He wanted one of those as well. But he texted me the last day when we were going home after the Cup had been won, essentially. Or I guess our last time in Nashville. Was that Cup won in Pittsburgh or Nashville?
No, it was one in Nashville. It was
okay, so it was the day of game 6 or whatever, 5, whenever that Cup was won. He texted me and said, "Get me a Smashville hat. I'm not paying."
Yeah.
I run around. I look at 3 places. I can't find it. I ordered one online for him for $60 or whatever. Had it sent to the station so I could present it with him.
Well, I mean, O did get his bucket hats.
Yes, he ordered them online, which he could have done in the first place.
He already got them online.
Wow. Sorry, just a sidebar to that. Has Pittsburgh ever won the Cup at home? I don't think so, right?
I don't know that they ever have.
Detroit,
Certainly,
They won in San Jose.
they won in San Jose. They won in Nashville. 91, 92.
They won in Detroit
Chicago
too, right?
Detroit. They won in
Detroit. Yeah, I don't think they ever won it at home.
And they won it definitely in Chicago, one of them. I can't remember the other. Oh, Minnesota. That
was
Minnesota
92.
one. Did they win it? Was
No,
that in Minnesota?
91.
They won in Minnesota, so yeah, they probably had one at home.
I feel like that was a storyline maybe in their last Cup year that they were finally trying to win one at home because let's face it, it is nice. We were there with the Raptors in 2019. It is. Look, it doesn't really matter. You win a championship, but there is something special about winning a championship at home, don't you think?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was at the Jays in '93, and it was awesome to be there when they won it in the building.
TFC.
Than when they won in Atlanta. TFC was awesome.
Argos.
Leafs this year will be awesome.
Jeff Mott was bringing up the top 10 because Philadelphia is playing on this day that we're talking to you. We're doing a Flyers Leafs game. Of course, the 76ers playing the Raptors right now, although that series might be over by the time you watch this podcast. I believe the Were the Jays? No, the Jays weren't playing the Phillies. That wouldn't make sense. Oh, I think TFC was playing Philadelphia.
They played them on the weekend, yeah.
I think there was a top 10 list of the great Toronto-Philadelphia moments on SportsCenter. Mm-hmm. And Jeff asked me, said, the number one is obvious. And my first response was, yeah, of course, the Kawhi shot. And he said, no, you idiot, Joe Carter's home run. And I said,
what about, I think it's actually Ty Domi beating the crap out of that fan who fell into the penalty
What about
box.
Vince Carter missing the shot?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, that's on there too. But it's the Kawhi shot and the Joe Carter. But
I'll take Kawhi over it, but he's right. The Joe Carter wins a championship.
don't you feel like the Kawhi feels bigger? Maybe it's just
How
time,
would you
right?
know? You were watching Mad About You. You
I was
didn't
not
even
watching.
see the Kawhi.
I was watching Game of Thrones, and I did see it on delayed live.
Oh,
so
same.
it was like it was live.
Same.
It's the same.
How many years after the Joe Carter did you watch it?
No, you're right. It would have to be Joe Carter, but I just for time it felt like the Kawhi was even, because Joe Carter was the second straight
one, yeah.
World Series.
Yeah.
Whereas I know it was only was it round one against Philly or round two? No, they beat Orlando in round one, didn't they?
It was
Round two.
It was round
yeah.
two, yeah. It was round
Yeah,
two.
you can't make a logical argument for Kawhi over Joe Carter, but I felt in the moment like I wanted to. Plus, for anybody under 30, and we have a young listenership here at the podcast, they wouldn't really remember Joe Carter. So, yeah.
No, they wouldn't.
Listen, man,
It's crazy.
that call still, though, of the shot, when you hear the foreign language ones, no, see, like, it's so cool,
I don't want to speak ill of a person who's no longer with us, but I do think that the call of the Joe Carter home run by Tom Cheek, the late Tom Cheek, who was a great play-by-play guy for a long time, was not a great call.
See, that one has, because there's some people that love it. Some people think that was like the best call. I sort of side with you on it. I don't love that call. But
Touch
a
them
lot
all,
of people,
Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life. Of course you won't.
Yeah, some people love that call. Some
Really,
people do
eh?
it. Yeah, I don't. I didn't love it either. I think Sean McDonough have still champions or something.
Yeah.
It was something.
Sean McDonough said every dog has its
No,
day.
he did not.
Blue Jays. This one.
Every bird
yours.
has its day.
Every bird has its
When it
day.
went over the fence, he went,
Who
scores.
said birds aren't real?
I must say, I'm surprised to hear that. I love that Tom G call. I do.
See, people love
Interesting.
it.
Just me.
I don't. It's not a love call for me, but like you just equate it with that moment. That's what touch 'em all, Joe. That's you think of that moment. I guess. Probably it wasn't perfect. I don't think it was bad.
Joe Carter.
Well, here's the thing. Did he write it down before?
No, he wouldn't have seen that one coming. Like you can. I've always said, if you're doing a basketball game or I guess any game, you can think up a line for the ending of the game. But if it's a dramatic home run or a buzzer beater, obviously you're going to have to do something on the right. Yeah. You're going to have to do something on the fly. Like I said, I'm not trying to. It wasn't. He didn't butcher it or anything like that. I've always been underwhelmed with that call. Nobody cares. One more sports thing before we leave. I realized this weekend that I don't have a man crush on Jordan Spieth, but I've said before, I don't cheer for much in sports anymore. I cheer for him in an unhealthy way.
Why?
I want to admit, I don't know. I just love watching Jordan Spieth win to the point that I was legitimately excited and yelling at my TV on Sunday when he won the
really
whatever it was called that
the Heritage RBC.
The Heritage, sorry, the RBC Heritage.
Classic?
Yes. I think I was suppressing it. Puffy doing my professional broadcaster job at the Masters.
You did not cheer for him at all.
And he made the cut. But when he's in the hunt, I get excited. And I think that to me, he has a Tiger, and this is not common for people. There are a lot of people who love Jordan Spieth, right? Like he gets more endorsements per se for what he's been the last few years than he deserves. He's just interesting because anything could happen. He could completely blow up or he could do something incredible on every shot. And that's why I find him intoxicating.
But I think he's intoxicating to golf fans. I don't think he transcends golf.
No, I don't think he does either. Anyway,
I wanted to bring better beside Brooks Koepka. Am I that delayed? Seriously.
No,
You hear what I said?
No, that was just.
I only caught the last part out. What about
I just
Brooks
heard
Koepka?
Brooks Koepka.
I said I personally think he'd look better with Brooks Koepka. That's what I was thinking.
Is there anybody out there?
He would look better with Brooks Koepka? What does
What
that
does
mean?
that mean?
See, there was no delay there. It was just like, what is?
I thought it was
I
funny.
think you're actually ahead
When
of
I
your
left my
time.
head.
We'll get it in episode 15.
Poor Lester. Lester, you know that's a rough line when you think everybody has you muted. What? Am I on delay? Lester? Are you there?
Oh my god.
Okay, so the reason I actually wanted to bring up the golf was not Jordan Spieth, but there's quite a controversy out there among golf fans about the RBC Golf Commercials. Do you guys watch enough golf or TSN that you've seen? I'm sure Lester has stuff. I'm not sure. There was a Dustin Johnson commercial that ran 1 million times where Dustin Johnson, some people might see a downhill lie with
Are
a tree
you
in the
honestly
way.
bringing up the commercial I brought up last week on this very podcast and asked you about it?
Oh, did you bring it up last week?
The one where he changes the club face and shoots it onto the green.
And in the hole, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that. That was on last week's pod?
Oh my god, yeah. I
Did we
just brought it up.
discuss
I'm
it?
like, is that a realistic shot? Because it caught my eye during the Masters.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what put it in my mind.
That's true. That we talked
That's where the
about.
controversy started. From this
I do
podcast.
have fresh material though. They unveiled a new one this weekend at the Heritage.
Oh, okay.
And it's so same concept, okay? Some completely this time he's on the edge of a cliff.
I'm done.
He's out.
That was literally the commercial. And I explained as he's on the edge. It looks like he's about to fall. Then he has a smirk.
And he turns the club backwards?
Yes.
I thought last week you were talking about the other Dustin Johnson commercial.
Okay, homework. We have to all listen to last week's podcast
episode, yeah.
to make sure we don't repeat.
I'm so glad to know.
Are you sure you didn't dream
I'm
it?
not the only one that James doesn't listen to.
I think what happened probably is you brought up a Dustin Johnson commercial and maybe something distracted me, like, that dog's got someone's ham, that kind of thing. And I was zoning into you talking about the other Dustin Johnson commercial where he just hits a shot and it's like 250 yards away and it goes in the hole and he just kind of nods, like he doesn't even get excited. That's the one I thought you were talking about.
All
So you were talking about this new one that they debuted where he's on the cliff and he turns his club backwards and still hits it
And I
like
was asking
250
if that's
yards.
a makeable shot. Yes.
Oh. So
I was asking if
I
a
don't know.
professional golfer could actually do that with that
Yeah,
distance.
I mean, I just saw a video yesterday. I mean, I think it's old of Dustin Johnson playing golf left-handed, and his swing is like better than 98% of like his swing was unbelievable, and he's hitting it. He said driving it, it's a little tough for him, but like his irons were unbelievable. So these guys are so good; they can do it.
How did I answer last week?
We'll have to go back and listen.
Do you think this is a problem? Do you think I'm losing it?
You honestly seemed like you didn't know what
Potentially you are.
commercial I was talking about, so perhaps that's what happened. But
Now, the only thing is, did the commercial debut during the Masters?
yes.
Okay, well then you didn't see
Oh no,
it,
sorry, I don't
Jimmy,
know if it
wouldn't have seen
debuted. That was when I saw it.
because we weren't watching commercial. We weren't
Probably.
getting RBC commercials.
So that's what probably happened. So it debuted during the Masters. I wasn't paying attention to you. I thought you were talking about the old DJ commercial. I lost interest. My mind wandered, and we just went through the segment. We mailed it in. So now I'm really relating because I watched it 55 times during the RBC Heritage.
So this is huge.
And a lot of people in golf are talking about how bad
Everybody.
it is. Everybody in golf. So you actually were at the forefront.
Yeah.
Right. So actually this is a good follow-up by me.
I should be in Augusta next year.
I'm just a little worried about myself now because maybe this is the sign of the decline.
Yeah.
Like I've always been forgetful, but if I completely ignored an entire segment we had on our podcast.
Well, I barely remember it, if it's any consolation, but I do remember Stoff talking.
Thank you, Lester. But you probably were like off half the time because
you were in time delay.
But I remember it,
transmission
though.
problems.
Yeah, you
Lester.
weren't here.
Well, I did have some
Puffy, do you remember the
transmission
conversation?
No, but I don't remember much.
You don't remember it either?
No.
Maybe Stoff didn't have it. Maybe he had it off
Lester
camera.
just said he remembers it.
I remember it.
Jimmy, what is the controversy that people are pointing to now? Because you haven't.
That it's just that it's the dumbest commercial ever. That like no one could ever hit that shot, would ever try that shot, and to the point where diehard golf fans, I listen to about 3 different golf podcasts, and 2 of them mentioned it this week, think that their RBC is punking us by doing something so dumb that will make people talk about it because it's so bad. So I wrote my financial advisor, who happens to be an RBC guy, and said, you need to get to the bottom of this. Why the hell are they doing these idiotic commercials?
I'm sure he'll
gave
know.
me an initial response, but it wasn't satisfactory. He said, I always thought that commercial was bad. I inquired further, and then he didn't finish the text.
He's lying.
Yeah, I don't think he did either. He also said he's in Iceland on vacation, so he's not actually.
He also
probably-
said stop stealing Stoff's material.
Did he send back your taxes and not do them as a punishment for you asking him that question?
Yeah. You should have.
No, he didn't. He didn't. He should be standing next to Brooks Koepka.
That would make him look better.
That landed.
Okay, let's start the podcast.
Okay, that was good. Normal.
What else would you like to get through from last week?
Nothing. I just had a lot of things. I had some stuff on my list. We got through the mouse. Talked about the mouse. We talked about my deck crumbling. I talked about my unhealthy affection for Jordan Spieth. We talked about that Dustin Johnson thing that nobody brought up before. So I think we covered a lot here. We talked about O-Dog's issues with the hat.
Jimmy, you could play a round of golf at the Heritage. Do you want to play with Spieth or Tiger? And let's say there's a 50-50 chance you're going to exchange phone numbers at the end and maybe do some casual dining together.
At a Denny's
A
restaurant.
potential, it could turn into
I
something.
mean, you'd be dumb not to say
longer-lasting.
Tiger would be the one that would be a much more exclusive, because I feel that Jordan Spieth would actually go to dinner with me.
Yeah.
Like if I went up to him next year at the Masters, say, Jay, Duffy, big guy, TSN, you know, maybe we could hang.
Chance he would go.
Yeah. Did you see Jordan Spieth? His wife ran down to the green with their baby, and a lot of people were talking.
Kid?
Yeah, he's got a baby, and a lot of people were concerned because she was so excited. The baby was like, like you're worried about the head. People were like,
Yeah,
that
you
baby's
got
going to be
that.
in post-concussion syndrome or whatever.
Nothing
so.
people like better to do than judge other people with their children.
Exactly. Sorry, I buried the real lead of the podcast, and I'm sorry because I've gone on for like a half an hour, as I often do now. But
Yeah.
we have a new member of the podcast
We do.
family, and I think
very
it's
exciting.
time for Puffy to introduce
Well,
her.
It's we got a puppy. That's the big thing.
Oh, boy.
A little cockapoo. And her name is Welly,
You said poo.
and she's adorable.
Welly. Oh,
Welly.
for Wellington County.
Yes, that is part of it.
Welly.
And also, we picked her up, and she lives in like Wellesley County or something.
Oh, there you go. So she is a cockapoo.
Cockapoo.
So she's my dog's cousin, because my dog's a Cocker Spaniel.
Oh, nice. Well, I think it's a mom was a Cocker Spaniel, and the dad was a poodle.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, because the first time we had Taffy, our old dog, we just picked her up at someone's apartment. This is the first time it was kind of like they had like they bred them, I guess, and
That is the word.
that's how it happens. But there was her siblings. There was 2 of them still there, and it was a little hard to take Welly away from their sisters. But they were.
Did she cry in the
on
car?
at us. She did do a little bit of whimpering, but she settled in pretty quick. She's only been with us 24 hours, and she's loving life.
Here's a Puffy's hypothetical.
Yes.
If humans were bred the way dogs were bred, in a futuristic sci-fi apocalyptic
I don't think
society,
we're far from
It's
it.
not that futuristic, I don't think.
It's called the metaverse.
and
Zuckerberg has his way.
the female had to be bred with one of the 4 members of the podcast, who would you choose to do your breeding with.
Who do you think would like the average?
Who would you
person
want to
choose?
be the stud? The stud for the litter.
Who would fetch the highest price? I guess is what you're asking.
Yes,
For their
there you
stud
go.
fees.
I mean, look at.
I think someone's quite confident in their stud fees.
I gotta say, I think that I would have to take Lester. Good-looking man, musical abilities. He's got everything.
Like those, like the bios that like the sperm donors give. Lester certainly would stand out from the pack. You know, professional musician, athlete.
For the
scholar.
athlete. I mean, pickup hockey player. Does that qualify as athlete?
Oh, did you those
Yeah,
eyes?
it's not like he's featured on a TSN starting lineup.
Probably should be.
Wow.
He should be ahead of a few people.
Agreed.
Do we need to explain that joke?
Oh,
It was on last week's podcast as well.
we did a full breakdown of the lineups.
I was just going to ask you. You obviously have two boys, human boys.
Yes.
Was it a priority for you to get a female dog?
Yes. The Tanya was like, no more boys. We're getting a little girl. So
I heard that boys are more affectionate dogs. I heard that.
I've only really had girl dogs, and they've been very affectionate, and it's crazy how much fun they are.
My Willow is the sweetest dog ever. She is the first female dog I've had. The one thing I would say is I don't know if this is true or not, but the pee destroys the lawn of the female dog more than the male.
Well, Taffy definitely did take out some lawns in her day.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Is it some sort of science thing? Maybe one of our many dog scientists who follow the pod can write in.
Well, maybe it's because the way they pee, they're more direct. It's like they're right at one spot, where the male dogs, they just lift their leg out and they're sending pee scattershot. So it's
maybe it's because male dogs would go towards trees more often.
Trees and stuff, yeah.
Whereas the female
That's a
dog
good
just
point.
crouches in the middle of the lawn.
So far, I just found some people believe that female urine causes more trouble to the lawn than male dog urine. So
Yeah.
Jimmy, you're amongst the some people.
Well, right now I got female urine all over my house because this Willow has no control over it. So that's sad.
But
all right, let's move
it's
on.
great having a puppy.
So you're sleeping and everything, all right?
Well, last night I got home late from work because we were doing the Ottawa Kraken game, and so I took her out for a little bathroom. But she's pooped twice in the house.
That's okay. That's
gonna happen. So we're hoping to start getting that going. But no, she was whimpering a bit, but she was good.
Have you used my method of extracting the poop? Remember I was talking about this several podcasts ago?
Yeah, that will not be happening.
I can't do it, man.
Oh, the finger in the bum. Yikes.
Yeah. Willow now runs away from me when she sees the bag over my hand at night. It's like the evil scientist. She goes, ah! And she runs away. And she can't even run. She just kind of pulls herself with two legs. Ah, get me away from this guy.
That's got to be just horrible to watch.
It really is. Let's do an episode of things that I saw on Twitter.
Freaky pigs, strange chicks, world affairs, polar bears, fake news, nice shoes, big boobs, jack dudes. All of these things and more as I sat on the shitter. Things that I saw on Twitter.
We have this for Rubber Boots.
Reacts.
Rubber Boots reacts.
And it is a hot take from our guy Bump, who's reacting to the announcement of the match, which will feature Brady and Aaron Rodgers versus Mahomes and Josh Allen on the golf course. And Bump's reaction here was, methinks a shark has been jumped here.
Ooh.
Was Bump doing a pun because Greg Norman, the shark, is leading the Saudi Golf League? I don't think so.
I think
Bump?
he is. He goes 2 layers with his puns.
Bump is deep. Yeah, I mean, this whole thing, I don't want to do a big, long thing on the Saudi Golf League, but they got big problems because no one's gonna go watch some of these guys.
Jimmy, for $5 million, would you go and play in the Saudi League?
Yes, I
Hold
would,
on, is the
because-
match
no,
in the Saudi League?
I gotta make a confession. I didn't read the tweet. I thought it was about the Robert Garrigus joining the Saudi League.
Oh my
This is a tough ball.
So when I just said it's about the match between Brady and Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes and Josh Allen, where did you go?
This is one of the worst
Like, where
performances
did you go?
in the history
You're
of
on this
hockey.
Jesus.
Are you okay?
Oh, man.
Oh.
This is just Lester not being last week in the pod is crushing you this week.
Yeah,
And you're not.
that's true. Let's just edited out parts.
Yeah.
Are
Where he was
more
not even
useful
able
than
to
this.
participate.
Okay, I've had a problem my whole life where my mind wanders at times, and usually I'm good enough to. While I'm on television, I'm able to focus, but sometimes on the podcast, my mind wanders, and so you started to read it, and when I read your notes earlier, and I saw Bump made a tweet. And I thought it was about the Saudi League. So when you started talking about Bump making a tweet, my mind wandered and I didn't listen to the rest.
Actually, you know what the key part of that was? The whole mention of the shark. That's where the shark confused you. Because you immediately went Greg Norman, and then
I thought Bump was making a joke.
Yeah, so this is all Bump's fault, clearly.
Come on, Bump, get it together.
Be better.
Idiots.
Be better.
I need to apologize to all our listeners for this week's performance on the podcast. And I don't even have like Puffy's drunk at the Masters excuse.
No excuses.
I think he's right. Like the match thing was, I loved it for the first few times, but I don't really care. Like, and I love golf, but 4 quarterbacks playing, I don't really care.
Like, don't you want 2 golfers in there? Wouldn't that make it better?
Yeah, or like Barkley makes it super interesting. You need somebody who's funny, and Brady and they're doing this. Josh Allen are doing this like back and forth pretend trash on Twitter, but they're not that funny, right?
I don't know.
Would the 4 of us would be more entertaining in a nationally televised match, no matter what the quality of golf was, than those 4 guys, guaranteed.
You'd never let it happen.
Well, you've shown that you're like, because when you did the match with Jerry D, you were bringing it.
I brought it
stuff
from an entertainment. And I think Lester would be funny. He'd bring out his instruments and do like play hello while we're in our backswings to try to rattle us off.
My golf cart would break down.
I'd forget where I was, wander off somewhere.
We would feign concern.
What else you got? I'm going to focus now. I'm going to hear every word you said.
Sticking to the golf. Which has been a focus problem. However, Lester has sent in this video that I sent you guys, and we'll show it right here. And Lester sent this in for things I saw on the socials, so take it away, Lester.
Well, it was just, and I forget the name of the gentleman, even though we just saw the video, but he's at the driving range, and it's just an unbelievably smooth swing, and the power he seems to get is incredible. It's kind of reminiscent of Bruce Lee. For me, just that little, not pushing real hard, but somehow getting that right physical or physics type of a contact, right? So, just interesting. But what struck me most about it is that he has a driver, and I don't have a driver, which I've asked for.
You've been harping a lot about the Stealth lately, hoping that Nick would come through for you, eh?
I'm not talking to Nick, I'm talking to you.
You make a lot of references. Most of your texts to me contain a Stealth reference of some sort. It's dominating our chats right now.
It is an unbelievable club.
Why don't you just win the Gold Bar League and then we don't have to worry about it?
Well,
I agree, Lester. That was I watched that swing like 10 times. That guy is smooth and money. The only thing I wondered, sometimes those driving range shots when the ball goes into the night.
He's done. He's
sick of it. I don't blame him. He should. If there was ever going to be anything that kept Stoff off the podcast, it would be this. I think maybe it's the power. Maybe is a bit of an optical illusion. Like that, it seems like it's firing 320 yards, and maybe it's not. Maybe it's the way that it's shot. But that is an unbelievable swing. I've always said the LPGA ladies have a much smoother swing than most of the men on tour, right? Like Rory's got a beautiful swing. There are guys who have Adam Scott, but to generate that much power, you won't see that from me and Puffy in our stealths.
We won't see it, period.
Did I tell you Puffy got a stealth? Did you get a stealth, Puffy?
No, I didn't get one. But they've taken care of me more than.
I wish I could have taken O-Dog's stealth and given it to you, Lester.
That would have been sweet.
That's what I would.
He asked for that too, eh? Wow.
Yeah.
Alrighty, moving on from golf, onto the very exciting world of the newly launched USFL.
Is that started, USFL?
Yes, just this weekend. We'll talk about this in the Gold Bar League, but we did have one of those events on the docket. I guess not all of you would know.
Yeah.
There's some participation issues.
Birmingham, baby.
That's a lot of controversy. Make sure you stay till the end for this because it's going to get ugly.
Yeah,
it will.
I'm sure. We're going to bring up things from 3 weeks ago. Anyway, in the USFL, the Pittsburgh Maulers have just cut Devon Smith, which was one of their running backs. And there's a video circulating online. And basically, this guy gets cut for... The team meal was chicken salad, and when the hotel employee asked him, tried to give him the chicken salad, he asked for a slice of pizza. He said, no, we can only give you this. Is it going to be a problem? And he said, yeah, it's going to be a problem, and he walked away. And they cut him off the team.
Talked to you guys on March 22nd. I had a handbook. I covered some items. They were very important to me.
Line 46 addresses that. Any disrespect of football or members, staff, USFL, hotel, etc. would not be tolerated.
And it's been brought to my attention that has occurred with you. So unfortunately, hear me out. Unfortunately, the cost of doing business, I'm going to have to let you go. Okay?
I didn't think I did anything or said anything disrespectful.
I didn't say anything disrespectful. He said, is that going to be a problem? I said, yes. That's it. And I walked away. I mean, I didn't think that was disrespectful. Me saying yes, I don't eat chicken salad. And I was like, is there another option? Walked in with pizza, and I was like, can I get a slice of pizza? He said no. I was like, he said, is that going to be a problem? I said yes. That's all I said. I didn't say no cuss word, nothing.
Fair foul.
Lester?
Let me say this. I'm a picky eater, so I kind of understand where he's coming from. At the same time, if you're a professional athlete, you don't have to eat it, but maybe you're a little more courteous and you just look after yourself and that's it.
Puffy?
Well, I think it also depends on how the exchange went down. Like, if he's like, is this going to be a problem? And he was like, yeah, it's going to be a problem. And he walked away. Or if he's like, yeah, it's going to be a problem. and the guy's like, this guy's going to kill me because I didn't give him a pizza. Then I think you would be right to cut him. But just for him being like not wanting to eat the chicken salad, they didn't like him. He obviously wasn't very good.
I have a feeling, Stoff, that the USFL, clearly they're doing like a Hard Knocks kind of show here weekly or something, right?
Yeah.
And they will do anything to get attention. And I feel like this coach cut this player just for the show.
Just so this clip could exist.
Just so this clip could exist. Probably was a mediocre player. I don't know that. And so I would even go as far to say that one of the producers, whoever's engaged in this thing, said, hey, could we make a bigger deal out of this than it is? And so they cut the guy. Because I thought it's a little ridiculous, unless, like Puffy says, he was challenging the guy to a fight.
Yeah.
And I felt the player actually looked pretty crushed that he'd gotten cut over being upset about chicken salad. So,
but that's the thing about it, right, guys? I mean, we're talking about professional athletes, but again, this is the guy's livelihood. So part of me is a little offended that the team would actually sit there and go and say, because you don't want chicken salad, they're going to cut you, But to your point as well, we don't know what the caliber of the player is, and he may not have made the team anyway. So,
right.
Also, chicken salad probably not the most appetizing thing for everyone, but
I ate a lot of chicken salads at the Masters. I quite enjoyed them. So,
but we're not talking about like Caesar
is that going to be a problem?
With chicken in it. We're talking about like chicken, mayo, that type of thing. It's not. It's not going to be everybody's deal.
That's everyone's cup.
So, I don't eat mayo, so I'm out.
So Jimmy, what if that did happen to you at the Masters, where you're going for a second chicken salad sandwich, and they're like, "Sorry, sir, there's a limit of one," and then they cut you.
If they better not look in our studio.
They revoke my pass. Mr. Duthie, is that going to be a problem that we only have the chicken salad today? Yeah, it is going to be a problem. I walk. Give me Fred Ridley and get him over here.
And I want a bucket hat.
Yeah, you would be
a white bucket hat.
I want a bucket hat now. Do you have anything else from the things that I saw on the Twitter?
There was the other thing I ran into was along the lines of the birds aren't real. There's a gentleman that's out there claiming that you could fit all of Texas in the city of New York. It's causing quite an uproar from people who seem to have the joke go over their head.
Hold on a second.
Pretty good.
That just went over my head. So you could fit
Puffy, we're not paying attention. He talked about this last week.
He did not, did he?
We did the history and geography of Texas last week.
Yeah. Everything okay?
Okay, stop.
No, he said. So he just made a joke. He basically said, "I'm from Texas. People don't realize how small Texas is." He put Texas. He shrunk Texas and put it over New York City, so it just took up like 3 of the boroughs in New York City or whatever.
Okay.
And he put it out like it was real, and people lost their minds because and started. Yeah. So it's just and he just kept
I was
feeding
looking
it.
at some of the comments, and there's people obviously going back and forth. My favorite one though was one girl wrote like, LMAO, I hope this is a joke because, and then she listed what the actual sizes were. And I guess somebody went onto her profile and saw that she put the Queen of Sarcasm as her profile, like in her profile. So they're like, how can you call yourself the Queen of Sarcasm if this goes over your head? And her response was, yeah, but this is just too much. So it's like,
the
it's
problem
literally
is
made
that
for
people
like that.
people have made things like there's so many people that are just so dumb that everything's believable what people will say.
Exactly.
So I think it's
where we are in the world.
People sometimes get bent out of shape because they can't believe people think that way, even when they're joking.
Here's a question for you, Puffy.
Yeah.
The province of Ontario.
Yeah.
In what other provinces or territories could you fit the province of Ontario? In other words, what province territories in Canada are bigger than the province of Ontario?
I'm going to say the Northwest Territories.
That's one.
That's one.
I'm going to say Yukon. I think Yukon's bigger than it gets credit.
No.
Damn it.
No.
That's it? No, I'm going to say that's it.
Quebec?
No.
Quebec?
There's 4 in total. So Quebec's
4?
another one, Nunavut's another one, and British
Oh, none of it's
Columbia.
that big, eh?
Yes.
Nunavut's the biggest.
Yes.
Really?
It's got like Baffin Island and all that stuff in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what do we say? Nunavut, Northwest Territories, Quebec, and
Quebec
what's
second,
the fourth?
Northwest Territories, British Columbia 4th, Ontario 5th, Yukon is 9th. So
British Columbia is bigger than Ontario?
Yeah.
I don't feel like that
Wow.
was always the case, but I don't think they're moving the borders around. So
They're growing.
New York, Ontario looks fatter on the map. BC looks slim,
Yeah.
but I think it goes up high there, all the way to the.
yeah, and they got those islands too off to the side. The islands, they probably
Yes, don't forget
Yes.
Nanaimo and Victoria.
Because it takes forever to get through Ontario. Like you're
It does.
driving forever
3
to
days.
get to the Manitoba border.
Yeah, but it's the same if you drive up
Maybe
in
if you're
BC.
going north-
you
yeah,
can go
maybe
like
BC
north
goes pretty
goes
high out.
goes forever.
But then wouldn't Alberta also be the same?
I don't know, buddy.
Well, I mean, but Alberta's a little skinnier. Look,
Ooh,
we're
yes,
going to
that's-
discover all this on our Rubber Boots country tour. So
It's true. We're
you
going.
got to pile into that van and drive across Ontario.
It's gonna be amazing.
I had just a quick what you watching.
What you watching? Just between you and me, what you streaming on your TV? Let me see. What you watching? Action, drama, comedy. What you streaming on your TV?
We Crashed. I talked about The Dropout, the story about Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos, which I hope you guys are going to check out. Fascinating. I'm now
It's called The Dropout?
The Dropout. I talked about that. Didn't I talk about that a few weeks ago?
I
Maybe.
think this was before it was even out. You were saying you were looking forward to it.
Okay. I think I might have talked about it as a podcast. It's now a series, and it's exceptionally well done. Amanda Siegfried plays Elizabeth Holmes, and she is brilliant in it. And it's incredible that people could raise whatever the billions of dollars that they raised in an absolute and utter complete fraud. We Crashed is similar. We Crashed is about the story of WeWork. Are you guys familiar with WeWork? No. Which was a company that basically their whole idea was to change office space where people would come and there'd be juice bars and gyms and ping pong tables. And I think their business model was like people would rent space. So if Lester was a musician, he would rent a space in the office, and Stoff Puffy's a real estate agent. He would come there, and they would all work together. Like the young people.
Yeah, that was kind of becoming a big thing a few years ago.
Yeah, so WeWork ended up being. They had stuff all over the world, but the couple that ran WeWork are completely and utterly nuts. They're played by Jared Leto and Anne Hathaway, and I'm not through the whole thing yet. I have a couple of epis left, but again, based on true story, which makes obviously there's some embellishment for dramatics, but. It's just insane to me in both these cases how the boldness for one is appreciated. Like you have to be bold to do these things, but the idiocy, the mistakes they make are just, it's insane. So I highly recommend We Crashed and The Dropout, and I'm currently into Dope Sick, which is the story of Oxycontin, which is on, I think that one's on Disney maybe, or Apple TV Plus. So I don't know if you have subscriptions to that, but Michael Keaton, very good in it.
Does he play a doctor?
He plays a doctor who kind of gets sucked into the whole Oxycontin thing. And again, something that will make you extremely angry. So there you go. Those are my 3 recommendations for the week.
Nice.
Can I mention 2
what
things?
else we got? Yes, of course you can.
Can I mention 2 what you're watching? Listen, I have to tell you, it's a big movie, but I finally saw Spider-Man No Way Home on the weekend. Unbelievable. Nice. I don't know if you guys were into Marvel movies or not, but I just thought
I saw it with my kids. It was good.
Yeah, really well done.
Who plays is Tom Holland still Spider-Man?
Well, there
Tom
is
Holland's still
all of the Spider-Man.
all the Spider-Man. Yeah, that's right.
Don't give it away.
It's
very
Lester.
good.
The movie's been out for 4 months. Anyone who's how did you wait so long?
Well, I finally bought it on Blu-ray. I just watched it on Blu-ray, so that was cool.
Oh, okay.
The other thing I was going to say though is, and this is a little bit of a TSN plug. But there's a 30-for-30 out called Shark. And it's just, of course, we're back to golf here. But it's about Greg Norman, specifically about the Masters in the 1996 collapse. James Duthie, you must see this documentary. As a golf guy,
James is going to bring it up next week on What You Watch.
Yeah. Bump had a tweet about that.
Yeah,
about the Saudi League.
So is that on demand, Lester? Could I just get
it's
that?
actually
Like,
it hasn't premiered as yet as we're doing this pod, but
okay.
But it will be out soon, so it should be on demand.
Now, does it portray Greg Norman in a sympathetic way?
As it should.
I would say yes. He's in it, and by the way, he looks fantastic. You referenced the fact that he's
Saudi
playing
money,
still, and he looks great. So it gave me a new perspective on him. It's very interesting and very well done.
Does he ever do any like walking beach shots where his shorts are too tight, like that he became famous for last year?
Okay, not to give away the whole thing, but he actually plays Augusta, present day.
No way.
As they're talking about it, it's very, very well done. Yes,
that's awesome.
Oh, that's a cool.
Yeah, it's very good.
Did he get the score good enough to win the tournament?
Well, let's put it this way. There's a couple of key shots in 96 that he misses that he makes here in the documentary. Nice. That's cool.
Well, when Jean Van de Velde blew the Open Championship in whatever year that was, ESPN brought him back the next year to do a feature, and he played the 18th hole, which I believe he needed 5 to win, right? 6 for a playoff.
No, I think he needed 6 to win.
6 to win, 7 for a playoff?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's one of the two. You're right. And
I just remember him saying, "I got a 6."
I think Puffy. I think you're right about like he put his tee shot second.
I'm just reading it now. Yeah, he needed a 6. He was up. He's leading by 3.
A 6 to win. Okay, so ESPN sends Jean Van de Velde back to what course was that, Puffy? Look it up.
Carnoustie?
Was it Carnoustie?
Carnoustie, I think.
He needs a double bogey 6 to win on 18 and does all that stuff and makes 7. So they sent him back with a putter the next year, and he only played the hole with a putter. And I believe he made either 5 or 6. So similar to what you're talking about.
I'm pretty sure he got a
Lester. 6. Greg Norman, by the way, you know what I was referring to, right? The shot that went viral a couple of years ago of Greg on the beach with his dogs that he posted, and his shorts were wet and everything was quite visible. And
really?
People think that's why he posted it. And he has the nickname Third Leg Greg, but I don't know if that was prior to that or only after that. But I don't know if that's addressed in the documentary, Third Leg Greg. Lester?
Greg. That's a good nickname.
Yeah.
Well,
Lester, you muted yourself, Lester.
You're on mute.
Sorry about that. No, it was not mentioned.
Oh, okay. Maybe that should have been the name of the doc. It would have been Third Leg Greg. Would have been a better 30 for 30. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Lester. We'll watch that. Yeah, we'll watch that one
for sure.
What else we got? Listener mail?
Rubber Boots Podcast. Listener mail. Listener mail. Podcast. Thank you for listening.
Quite a bit of feedback on our who would you want to fly a plane and survive the landing discussion. I mean, depends how you look at it. A lot of love for Puff or not a lot of love. Jeremy writes in, sorry guys, it's always going to be our boy Puff. I have I have complete confidence in Puffy with a major eye roll emoji at the end. Ouch.
Emotional damage.
Andrew Barron writes in, we all know our boy Puff would be that pilot at the bar before his flight. I don't think there's
only to calm the nerves. Only to calm the nerves. Just a couple. To keep me steady.
To keep the edge off.
I would allow you to have 2 drinks. If I was on the plane, I would allow you to have 2 drinks, Puffy. I would want that.
Stiff one.
If I was on the plane, I would have your 2 drinks for you. Along with a slew of others. Ricky Schmidt
We'd be celebrating.
Ricky Schmidt writes in, Stoff always seems organized with all the logistical details, so I'm 100% going with him. I'm sure Ricky remembered our Dustin Johnson discussion from last week as well.
I'm sure Stoff picked out all the messages that were him. Well, here's another one that says Stoff should fly the plane. Here's another one that says
you
Stoff.
are correct, Jimmy. Leafs Chirp. He gave us a list from 1 to 4 who he like. Stoff, number 1. Let's be realistic here, folks.
Okay. Wow.
Number 2 says, it's a toss-up, but let's do Lester. He can sing some John Denver or Don McLean if things go south.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, number 3, Jimmy. I think he could give her a good go, but he has too many self-deprecating stories to keep me calm. Okay. And number 4, Puff. Love ya, but...
That's fair.
I am just on like the lack of love for Puff is understandable with his track record on this podcast, but I just feel like I deserve a little more credit in my ability to pull that off. You guys know that I can focus when the time for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
I can focus. I won't forget I won't forget everything I learned the day before in training.
Oops, forgot to put the wheels down.
Well, what if your mind just starts to go while the pilot's explaining? You're like, okay, you put the wheel down. It's like, okay, and then you just make up the rest on your own.
After today's performance, I'm worried about you doing the Leaf game tonight.
Yeah, that's true.
5 seconds to landing, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. That dog's got something to him.
And we're bouncing.
Matthew writes in, pilot Lester, co-pilot Stoffington Post, myself, concerned about our boy Puff even being near the plane loading luggage, quite frankly.
Wow.
So that was a little
that's
harsh.
really harsh.
It's really nuts.
Snack Bites Pete says, I gotta
Snake
go with...
Bites Pete.
No, Snake Bites Pete did not write in. Snack did. I gotta go with Captain Lester on this one, so that's another...
Nice.
A lot of votes for me and Lester. Puffy, not
Jimmy,
so much.
we're in the back.
Yeah.
At least we're
actually,
having
I was actually thinking when I was reading Stoff's notes that he sent, I said, I'm going to get fiery about this. I'm going to defend myself. And then after my performance on the first hour of this podcast, it's really hard to come up with any viable defense
there's
why I
none.
should be flying that plane.
You and I are throwing luggage on the... That's all we're doing.
Pertaining to our dogs howling discussion as to why dogs howl, not really an answer, but Fistful of 3 says, I don't know about the dogs, but I was howling listening to everybody sing on the Masters pod. That's some praise for you two gentlemen.
Mostly Mark Ward.
Chiming in on our bad places to go number 2 in bad toilets, I guess. Father Morrison, I don't know if he's a priest, but he writes in, a factory in Mexico. The factories aren't near resorts. I was a world traveling technician in my last job. So a factory in Mexico is.
Seems like he has. It seems like there's more of a story going on there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Seems like
obviously we'll get him on for next week.
Perfect.
Father Morrison, get in touch. MB Fan 204 tweets in a video from TikTok that's taken at the Weimara from someone called Jake and Kaylee, so I'm assuming it could be Jake Brooks.
It is Jake
and
Brooks.
They're simply asking, is this Brooksie? The video does feature...
It is.
I did watch the video with an attentive eye. Many times.
Brooksy gets recognized
I can confirm that with Brooksy.
Yeah,
sure.
Brooksy gets recognized a lot now. So Kaylee is her I was going to say her stage name, but that was in college.
Put your hands together for Kaylee.
That's her pseudonym. That's her traveling name.
All right,
Kaylee.
well, mystery solved. Corey Kling writes in, successfully reference a line from the podcast for a university paper, and then he quotes Season 8, Episode 8, 2523 to 2530. Now,
nice.
I'm guessing he referenced that part in a university paper. I went back and listened, and it was myself saying that if your conversations with your neighbor go past the weather, you've gone too far.
Oh, nice.
I guess that helped them out somehow.
That's a good line.
Tweet in, Corey. Let us know if you passed.
Corey, does that make, does Stoff get in your bibliography or your footnotes? Does it say Rubber Boots Podcast, Stoff, Season 8, Episode 8? That would be the greatest footnote ever.
Let us know, Corey. Let us know.
That's awesome.
We'd love to see it and want to know what you got as the grade. Matthew DeRitter asking last episode, as when you said that Lester would have to die for me to play golf with you, he wrote, can't he just be fired and not die?
I was a little extreme.
Wow.
I'm sorry about that, Lester. Lester, I'm sorry.
Things went a little left. In our chat, as you know, stop by our chat, say hello, get a gold bar. So Trojan Baz, whose name is Baz Watson, stopped by to say, Trojan Baz says hello. Trojan Baz is also very tipsy. So quite the party on Thursday nights we have.
Interesting.
He also wrote in afterwards, I can only assume I'm the highest placed member of Prophylactic Nation from Wales. So we do have someone listening to us in Wales.
Pretty.
Baz Watson, shout
cool.
out.
Nice.
Tipsy.
Finland, Wales.
When I was a little kid, did anyone else when they were a little kid think Wales was like a place where the whales lived? Like it was just a big pond. That's what I did.
Nope, just you.
Okay. Great. Awesome.
And by kid, you mean 3 weeks ago.
No, by second year uni, I had it figured out.
Alrighty, a couple more here. 99 Striker writes in, I absolutely love your podcast, and I literally laugh out loud at some of the shenanigans you guys get on with. I was wondering how I enter to win Stealth Driver. I need some help with my game big time. Ha ha ha. So,
felt like a little bit of a suck up off the top to try and get in for the Stealth Driver.
Praise like that usually gets you stuff.
Well, what's his name?
99 Striker.
Okay, good news, guys. Striker, I actually have an extra Stealth Driver, and it's coming to you. I'm going to send it out to you today.
It's been kicking around, gathering dust. Lester, can you get that sent to
If you
Striker?
want an even more random comment, Borden Cirque writes in, Puffy is the best one on the podcast. I'm not sure what it was in reference to or anything, but hey.
A genius.
Everybody loves Puffy.
Comment, and we read your comments. A couple comments from our YouTube section. Our good guy, Sean Morrison, who's been going through our old YouTube videos and commenting on them, said, I'll let you know if I find Jimmy's poop story from the previous episodes. Hand plunger. Nice. You totally tried it. So
Ask if I can make a request, go through this week and find out if I've ever had a pod that showed more signs of dementia.
Probably not. Sean did also have a comment on one of our old episodes from season 2. Building a gazebo with my brother today, decided to turn this on. He was horrified by Aspic and confused why it existed.
Nice.
Confused by why the pod existing? Or Aspic?
We've had people ask that question as well.
Fair point either way.
Very fair point. Finally, Tim Blizzard writes in, boys, it is called Just a Drop. They have it in liquid and napkin form. Invented by a local man from New Brunswick, and it is a lifesaver. It took a while for me to figure out what he was talking about. However, there's a product called Just a Drop in New Brunswick. and it's marketed as the original toilet odor eliminator.
Oh, okay.
So if you're
what do you mean? You put
odors,
you put it in the toilet, like in the bowl?
Tim did not specify. Maybe you just
it sounds like you just drop it in.
Brooksie buys these beautiful, probably organic like sprays or whatever. So not the stuff you get at the Shoppers Drug Mart, but it's a beautiful essence. I spray it even when I just do the number one, just so it's I gotta like the smell of it.
Nice.
Anything else?
Just the most contentious part of the week.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
I love gold, and so do you. Do 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 do, do do do. Join the Gold Bar League, and you can have some too. Do 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 do, do 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 do. It's the Gold Bar League. Come on and join the Gold Bar League.
BetSafe.net.
Another big week in the Gold Bar League, especially we had 8 gold bars up for grabs.
Whoa. Why would you change the numbers? They've always been 6. Why would you suddenly put 8 on a day where I happen to be very busy and might have missed the deadline by like 30 seconds?
For starters, we already had 8 a couple of weeks ago, if you remember.
Don't remember that.
Pride one, so you don't remember that.
No.
We did the 8 bars already. 8 bars again. No one went perfect 8 bars. That's not a single one person.
That's good.
5 people got 7 bars.
Damn it.
So shout out to Marn Lander Hughes, who combines Marner, Nylander, and Matthews names.
I thought it was a Welsh name, somebody else from Wales.
So, he's got 7 bars. That's his first entry, so right out of the gate with 7, pretty good. A little ground to make up, but maybe he can do it.
It's already passed me.
Jerkson, also 7 bars. Chris, 7 bars. Nelly Butchberger and Dan the Man all get 7 bars out of the 8 this week. The average was 4.17. The mean was 5. So the most common one was 5 bars out of 8. Not a good week to miss, in my opinion, but you're busy. If you're busy,
if you're in any pool, if you get your entry in before like the first tip or the drop of the puck or whatever, you're fine. Puffy and I both had a rough day.
Busy.
I had a death in the family.
Yeah.
I had a death in the family, and
I was negotiating getting a dog.
And
for starters, Jimmy, you tip-off already went when you got yours in. 3 other games started by the time Puffy tried to get his in. So
I didn't see anything though. I said just give me the home teams.
That death in the family, by the way, was Jordan Spieth missed a 1-footer on 18 on Saturday. They put him in a deep hole.
You're sitting there watching golf with me.
I know.
You're sitting there watching golf. Hold on, let me point out one other thing. You're getting a text message from me that contains a tweet for you to retweet.
Did I retweet it?
Get their picks in. No, you did not till like after 6 o'clock.
Damn it.
Which I'm not sure why you retweeted at that point. But yeah, so definitely countless reminders. However, you guys want it to just be automatically given the home teams. Bad week for that also, because the 2 of the games were on neutral sites, and another one was
the winning team.
Another one was an over/under. So
it was just a panic. It was a panic request. I knew I was in trouble, and I'm like, just give me the home teams, like right before the Raptors game tipped off or whatever. I figured I might go 4 for 8.
I'm going to do a Stoffy's hypothetical here. Because if I gave you guys the 3 home teams, you would have got 3 out of 8 bars.
I'll take that. I'll take the 3.
Okay, so I am willing to do this. However, and Puffy, don't get too excited, because this is going to be in Jimmy's hands. And I'm willing to bet this is going to go a lot like those times where you're at the airport and there's one first-class ticket for someone to go home and see their family, and someone else has to go on the tarmac and help them clean.
I know that's where I've been going.
Okay, so here's my suggestion. I will give you the 3 bars each, only if Jimmy's relegated to the first up division.
Yeah, that's 100%.
Oh my God.
That is fair.
Now,
that is the fair call.
My friend Lester missed a couple of weeks, and I would feel, as much as I'm angry with the commissioner, and I think he's a joke, I don't think it would be correct for us to...
No,
but you're in a lower tier. Jimmy, if you accept the penalty...
Yes.
If you take the penalty, you end up in the first up division with Puffy, and you would actually be tied for the lead in that division now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be relegated. The podcast has my name on it. You can't relegate the guy whose name is on the podcast. It's not Snake Bites Pete's Rubber Boots podcast. It's not Chewy Louie's Rubber Boots podcast, all right? It's not some dude from Wales Rubber Boots podcast. It's not Ricky Schmidt's Rubber Boots podcast. It's Jimmy's Rubber Boots podcast, and thus I remain in the top division. We'll take our punishment.
So let
0
us do
for 8.
those standings now. The talent division led by yours truly with 28 gold bars. Big weekend for myself.
Boo.
AK 2 bars behind with 26. Then we go down to Duffy, 21 bars, and then Lester with 18 bars.
So basically, though,
I missed 2 weeks. That's not too
if
bad,
Jimmy
actually.
can't get relegated, then Lester's screwed.
Oh, I mean, Jimmy finishes last. He's getting relegated.
No, if I finish last, I'll send. What's the word they use in Hunger Games when you could send somebody else?
A Providence.
No, that's close.
Those packages.
A proletariat. A
proxy?
A proxy.
A probe.
A providence.
A provost.
Yeah, proxy. Lester will be my proxy in relegation if I get relegated. It's simple.
It's lovely. I'm sure he's excited for that.
No, if I get relegated, I get relegated. I'm taking it all right?
All right.
Once again, after my performance this week, I feel like I need to take everything that's coming my way.
Okay, then let's do it. Let's get our 3 bars, and then you can join me in the division.
No,
sorry, Puffy. And hence, the first up division is, and this is huge, because this guy did not start in week 1, and he's missed a couple weeks, but Bob Weeks now leads the first up division with 21 gold bars. Puffy's behind him with 20.
Weeks too.
Carlos got 18. Cause is coming out of nowhere with 16. So things are really heating up in the first up division.
Yeah.
Bump rounds it out with 8. Now, for the prophylactic conference, our listeners, the April leaders, Chris leads the month of April with 15. Max Scatafoni has 14. So does Sam. 7 more people tied at 13. And the overall standings, Max Scatafoni leads with 31, Han Solo second with 29, Chris, Sam, and Matt, and Pharmamag 1, who's already made the Platinum League, have 28 bars each, and then a bunch of people tied with 27, more tied with 26. Still time to make up ground, but only 2 weeks left. 2 weeks left in the Gold Bar League, so...
That's it? There's only 2 weeks left?
Yep.
Fantastic.
I feel like we just started.
Well, we move fast.
Gotta go to the Platinum, right?
Yeah.
That's it. We gotta move on to the Platinum while there's still events going on.
It's crazy.
All right, I'll promise to be better, both in the Gold Bar League and in next week's edition of the Rubber Boots podcast. I'm rejuvenating my focus.
Does everyone in the first up division get into the finals? No. What's it called?
Would it make sense that if everyone in the bottom tier would make the postseason, would that make the most sense?
Well, you guys all get in the Platinum League.
No, we don't all get in.
You don't?
No.
We did last year.
Oh, that was last year.
Yeah, we changed the rules. Who gets in the top tier division?
So in the top tier division, the person first overall will get in automatically. Second and third will have a page playoff.
Okay.
The winner of that will face the winner of the first up division. Winner of that going on.
How many are in that division? Only 4 of us?
Oh,
in the town division, 4, 5 in the first up division.
So is it similar for the first up division where
you win the first up division, you're gonna face whoever won the 2-3 matchup in the talent division.
Okay, but how do I get to be the winner of the first up division?
You have to have more gold bars than Bob Weeks, Puffy. Oh, sorry, Bob Weeks, Carlo, Cos.
But what about I want the little page playoff thing too.
Well, then you have to win first. You have to finish first.
But why don't we get the page playoff thing in our little first up thing like you guys do?
You have to remember to make your picks, man. That's all there is to it.
You could. Now, Puffy, what if you finish first? Do you still want the page playoff?
No, then it directly go into the...
Understood. Thing. Yeah, I'll bring that up to the board this week, and I'll let you know what they say.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I got to go to work, as does Puffy. Thank you guys for tolerating my momentary lapses this week.
We scheduled a call with Brooksie. We're gonna see what we're gonna do for.
It's Kaylee.
It's Kaylee.
Glad, Lester, that you could join us this week and weren't just off in some technical Neverland. I am going to get
very sorry about that, guys.
New microphones, although I thought you all sounded good. And we'll be back. We'll be back loud and proud next week on the Rubber Boots Pod. Yep. Brought to you by betsafe.net and our friends at TaylorMade, makers of the Stealth Drive.
Hey, how are ya? I got a question that I really wanna ask ya. Wait, don't hang up. I need to know, so I'm gonna try and push my luck. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, or black or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Do you like the dunk tank at the fair? Oh, I know it's a little strange, my obsession with your choice of footwear in the rain. And I know that you're on TV, but I need you to put your boots up on the desk for me. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, or black or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Do you like the dunk tank or the fair? This is the part they call the bridge. A bridge has water under it. With rubber boots you can wade in the water. Just don't fall in. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, or black or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Do you like the dunk tank at the fair? Do you really like the dunk tank at the fair? Dunk tank.
Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight?